In this video, we're going to be doing a rapid fire roundup of all major updates for Zoho projects inside of Q1 of 2025. Again, this is a new series of videos I'm doing where I just try to get through these blogs pretty darn quick to give you a high level understanding of what's been rolled out and why it might matter to you. If you find the video useful, please be sure to like and subscribe down below. Leave me a comment with which ones of these is kind of most useful for you and any feedback and video requests you'd like to see in the future. And as always, head right on over to zenatta.com and click on book a meeting if you'd like to talk about how we can help with your Zoho install. So with that, this is a rapid fire roundup anyways, so let's get right on into it. So here I've got the Zoho Projects quarterly update document up. We're going to go through these one by one and share some of my thoughts. So first one, Zoho Projects data inside of Power BI. So there's like a pre-built connector here that you'll basically just be able to push and sync any and all data from Zoho Projects into Power BI. I do really like this. We find a lot of use case for Zoho Analytics because Zoho Projects is a solid tool. Its reporting is a little bit weak. It's not always giving people everything that they need to see and maybe not in the format that they'd like to see it in. So a lot of the times when we do a projects implementation, we end up connecting Zoho Analytics and kind of doing a lot of slicing and dicing there. If you're an organization that's already using Power BI and you've got a lot of reporting in that tool as is, I wouldn't recommend moving everything to analytics, right? It's like, hey, stay in Power BI and use this tool to pull all your data over there, right? So just saving you a step of having to export, import, or create any type of funky like integration action. Just use this by default. It's going to go over there every single day. Next one, minor update. Basically, you're now able to set templates and customize templates when you're inviting portal and client users. Honestly, a portal user, that'd be like an employee. The default one's probably fine. I do like the ability to customize these for a client user. Like I could imagine myself writing some instructions into this email template of like, hey, the things you really need to look at are over here. Go in, click this custom view. Those are the things we're waiting on you to move forward on. So I could actually see a use case for this, mostly for client users. For portal, it's like, hey, go ahead and log in, right? You're going to need to learn the app either way. Next one is they've added email aliases for task lists. They've always had this at like a project and a milestone level, but now I can actually come in and for a particular task list, set up an email alias that I can just forward an email to that alias and it will create a task using the subject line and description content inside of that particular task list. So a nice one. I don't find myself using email aliases too often myself. It's never been really the way that I interact with a project management tool, but if you are using those, kind of nice to be able to put it into a specific list, which would then nest it under a milestone and under a project kind of nicely. Next one here are accessibility improvements that they've made across the board. I will highlight, when you see an application roll out accessibility improvements, you might think like, well, I might not need these. I generally don't need accessibility tools. Like you might think like colorblind management, right? Things like that you might find value in. There are a lot of them in here that I just think are nice regardless of your requirements for accessibility tools. I'll go through a few of them. Reading mask. Honestly, Zoho Projects is a busy tool, right? There's a lot going on in here. Being able to highlight into a specific section is honestly kind of nice. Changing text spacing, that's pretty minor. Animations, these are rather than having a pop out, it'll kind of grow into a menu list. Cursor size, font family, zoom. So being able to zoom in, this is one that I like, taking a big list and making it small and starting at the top. Like I zoom things all the time so that I'm seeing less stuff. It like meaningfully helps me be more productive if I'm seeing less things at once. Big one, keyboard shortcuts. I love keyboard shortcuts. They are an accessibility tool for those who might not like to use a mouse as much. But honestly, things like, hey, add a task, that's just like a really useful keyboard shortcut, right? So if you're sitting in projects all the time, familiarize yourself with these. It might actually save you a decent amount of time. Custom scroll bars, those are really, rest of these are pretty specifically kind of for accessibility functionality. I did just want to highlight keyboard shortcuts because I like using these myself. They are an accessibility tool, but I think a lot of people benefit from learning and using them. Next one here is all about time entries and restrictions around time entries. So you've always been able to restrict time entries to say, hey, you can't log time outside of a start and an end date of a task. Now you can actually come in and apply some exceptions and allowances, right? So maybe a manager can log time on behalf of an employee outside of the expected window because we know it's real, we validated it, but maybe I'll keep certain users as restricted and only able to log inside of a certain time period. Baseline visibility for Gantt charts, this is a profile and permission setting. So baselines, again, are kind of like that thing that you're going to benchmark the entire project against. You might not want to have everybody see that because it might kind of infer or allow inference into profitability and margin and you know, kind of your goal out of a project. So now you can restrict those and only allow certain users to see them based on their unique profile settings. Next, multiple task custom views. When you go in and you create a set of custom views, oftentimes you get one that you really like. It might have 4 or 5 different filters on it, and you just want to be able to clone it, make one adjustment, but keep the other 4 and create yourself a new custom view. So now they've actually been able to add that, right? So I can clone a custom view, make that one edit, and I don't have to start over from scratch. A big one here that I've seen use case for this for is like if you're using a lot of dependencies, there's a filter that you can have in a custom view that says, hey, is this task blocked by a dependency? Is it blocking future tasks, right? So can I start or is this blocking me? Those are really commonly used, but then I might want 4 or 5 different views based on statuses, priorities, things like that, but all that point back to some of those dependency fields. So now I could set those up and then just clone and make little updates. Again, it's minor, but it will save you quite a lot of time. Next up here is updating multiple phases. So now we can actually update the owner and status in one action within a given phase or milestone. So again, just keeping things a little bit easier to do if you are going to be making multiple updates at once. Last but not least, minor updates down here at the bottom. So formula fields can now be associated with many, many more layouts. This has always been a weird thing in projects that a lot of layouts are like specific to a project, which is not really how a lot of people do things. But now you can have formula fields apply to more of them. They've also done a minor update to timesheets terminology. So now rather than an individual log of time being written as a timesheet and then multiple logs roll up into timesheets, they're now saying, hey, one instance of time being logged is a time log and a group of time logs is a timesheet. That's kind of just the correct way to use those terms. So nice job, Zoho. I agree with this rename. And then lastly, Zoho Projects now has V3 APIs. This is something that from the developer perspective, we're pretty excited for. Zoho Projects has always been a bit tricky when it comes to bulk actions. They've not really fixed that here, to be honest with you. It's still kind of an issue in having to do things one by one, but I'm hoping with future updates to their API that we'll see more progress in this regard. So Zoho, if you're out there, if you're listening, keep working on these. It really would be nice to be able to use some bulk actions in the API, just so that, again, I'm not having to call the API 10 times to make 10 tasks. I'd rather just make a list of 10 tasks, call it once and make all of them. That's cheaper on Zoho's side anyways, so looking forward to that update coming out eventually. So with that, that is our rapid fire here for Zoho Projects. Honestly, a kind of quieter quarter for them. Last year, they made a ton of changes. I'd expect more throughout the course of this year. So if you're a projects user, keep an eye on the channel. We'll be doing one of these every quarter. And as always, we do cover all of them in our weekly podcast, The CRM Zen Show. I just don't always have the time to go quite as deeply into each of these and share some of my thoughts and opinions outside of just a description of what exactly it does. So if you found this video useful, please be sure to like and subscribe down below. Leave me a comment down there with which ones of these you're excited to use and what you'd like to see next. And as always, my name is Tyler Colt, and I will see you next time.